professor from Korea that is joining us, Professor Pyon. Professor Pyon, are you there? Hello, Professor Pyon. Can you hear us?
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay, excellent. Excellent. I'm sure you've been listening to all the interesting conversation that have been going on, both from the private, our donor agency, and the government. We would like you to probably in the next 5 to 8, 10 minutes to share with us the Korean case and how the Korean government is responding to COVID-19 in terms of education. Hello, Professor Pyon. Are you still with us?
Yes.
Okay. Could you share with us the case study on Korean government response to COVID-19? All right, perfect.
Hello, everyone. My topic requested by KOICA Nigeria is on Korea's experience of responding to COVID-19 in educational context, and most especially educational policies and implementation on online classes for basic education during this pandemic. I understand that the KOICA is in the making of the second phase of the education project, which is for the Multimedia Education Acceleration in Nigeria. And I think this project will be pertinent regarding that we all have to widely prepare for and tackle with critical issues of education and after the pandemic. I sincerely hope my presentation on this issue help establish the relevant action point for the online education in Nigeria. What the Korean ministry has initially decided to do as the pandemic happened is to start keeping with the school closure, whilst they are creating stable and conducive education environment and prepare for online classes stage by stage. You need to know that in Korea we have 2 semester system. And the first academic calendar starts in March, but when the pandemic happened, the military decided to keep the school shut down until until 9th of April. And the government provided 2 types of temporary learning services for 3 weeks before they started to full-scale online learning. One is a teacher-managed online learning, and the second one is a voluntary online learning. Teacher-managed online learning means teachers use online classroom service to conduct real-time lessons, provide learning content and assignments, as well as feedback in ways which are almost like that of our regular classes. The other one, voluntary online learning, means for each school, teachers by themselves create online classrooms or chat room and to share learning content. Then the Korean ministry decided to keep the school closer and implement the full-scale online classes to all schools nationwide, based on the survey result, as you see. And so the ministry started full-scale online classes from the 20th of April after the 3 weeks long adjustment period, which is the early April. And so I will explain in some detail on systematic preparation for online classes. We need to understand that the almost 100% of Korean households can access to the internet, and digital literacy of Korean students reaches almost 100%. Still, nevertheless, the government decided to expand IT and ICT infrastructure to provide full-scale online classes. So the ministry has expanded online learning platforms in huge scale. For example, the site of KERIS, that means Korea Education and Research Information Service, which is one of the parastatal agencies on the Ministry of Education, has upgraded its infrastructure to reach 7-fold expansion within 2 weeks, as you see, from 470,000 to 3 million by early April. And also EBS online class, EBS is one of the national broadcasting system solely for education. EBS online class has completed 304 expansion of its infrastructure within a month period. So the the online visitor reaches from the 10,000 on March 2nd of March to 3 million on 8th by the 8th of April. And also EBS TV additionally created more channels. And this is to support basically primary 1 and 2 because they may have some trouble in taking online classes because they are too young to use the online platform. So they have created more channels. EBS also has put 7 channels in total for students from primary 3 to junior secondary 3. And in addition, EBS also provides 1 channel for senior secondary students. In result, EBS offers 10 channels for TV lessons in total. And more and more online learning content are also added, by teachers. About 50,000 public learning resources have been added on the public platforms, and a lot of free content has been developed under so-called the public-private partnership. But more importantly, copyright issues have been temporarily relaxed, and this policy allows normal teachers to broadly access to copyright resources. And this has made a good way for teachers to, put with their own content-based lesson in teaching and learning during this, pandemic. The Kremlin also supports teachers' capacity building, as you expect, for online teaching, because the military designated 495 model schools to develop and disseminate the achievement of best online and learning, and so the best practices are broadly shared for capacity building of teachers, as well as for avoiding some sort of potential issues and obstacles teachers might face during online classes. Teacher training is also conducted on how to use application tools such as something like Zoom or Cisco WebEx or Microsoft Teams. For real-time interactive classes apart from content development. And the military also provide guidelines and created School-On, a website to support teachers. School-On is to help understand how to use online learning platform and tools, for example, to share ideas regarding the online teaching and classroom management. And they also facilitate the teacher on service, which is kind of a teachers volunteer group. And thanks to this, they can provide real-time troubleshooting services and sharing best practices, for example. More importantly, in order to support teachers' capacity building, 10,000 selected representative teachers, and from around the world, from around the country, organize a community channel. This is for real-time interactive community communication community that encourages teachers to share ideas, information, and advice on online education to address any kind of issues they might encounter in teaching and learning. And the online class guideline has also been distributed to all schools to provide information on how to do with the online education, just like the regular school class, including how to track student attendance and performance and record student achievement. And now I explain in some detail on the operation of online classes. And this is the basic flow chart for operation of online classes. It normally shows how online classes are generally operated according to the operation plan. And they are all based on the LMS system or the external education platform, something like EVS or KERIS e-learning sites. Because of that, thanks to that, teachers and students can connect, themselves with using TV, PC, and other useful digital devices, something like tablet or mobile phone. And as I explained, for primary 1 and primary 2, EBS TV channels, as I explained before, are also open for TV lessons. And apart from that, it's important to note that the learning package are also provided to aid their education. Regarding the outcome of online class participation, almost 99% of the 5.34 million students or primary and secondary students, primary and secondary school students participate in the full-scale online class. And the public online platforms such as EBS online class, as I explained, as well as the KOICA e-learning site, and Videoron, both of which are developed by KOICA. They are most frequently used platform along with some private platforms such as Google Classroom, okay, and Microsoft Teams. And as for the teaching approaches provided in the online class in Korea, content-oriented classes is one of the most popular approach as if we look at the teaching method. And the more than that, current teachers prefer to combine more than 2 class types. And the most popular types are the combined form of task-oriented and content-oriented classes. And they are frequently used in classes, as you see in the slide. And, and teachers basically like to distribute printed learning packets and assignments whilst they are delivering online learning. The assignments are basically submitted, or some forms of assessment are provided after students may come to school. Teachers also like to send, letters to parents, and they want to confirm that, students keep up with learning at home. So to ensure fair evaluation during COVID-19, the assessment is carried out in any way after the relevant delivery of teaching online. And there are two forms of evaluation for online teaching and learning. Basically, they are paper-based assessment and student performance evaluation as well. Paper-based assessments are normally carried out, only after students are allowed to physically attend school. And a key success factor in coping with the operation of the online education during this pandemic is teachers' voluntary participation, as I explained just before. Teachers participate in learning communities to share ideas and know how to further improve their teaching, and they enhance creative learning experience of their students altogether. And now I would like to talk about some overcoming challenges they have. The ministry provides 2 kinds of policies to support online classes. One is free digital device rental service, and the other one is zero rating policy. The ministry provides digital devices and subsidizes internet subscription fee to students from advantaged backgrounds. Okay.
Professor Pion.
Yes.
Can you hear me?
Okay, I will.
Can you wrap up in 1 minute, because I think we've taken a lot of time.
All right.
We'll also take some questions as well.
Okay. The ministry also provide students from low-income families with data free of charge. And therefore, what's more, emergency childcare services are also offered to dual owner, families as well as families in difficulties. The government also enhances schools' capacity of technical assistance with communication so efficiently, using some sort of devices and policies. And they provide some additional assistance for parents, and they, the ministry also try to facilitate teacher to teacher communication. Okay. Finally, I want to explain some lessons learned. What's best lessons learned from Korean experience first is to expand or make full of make full use of public infrastructure, such like platform providers, including the DSTV or core TV as you have. And I also want to emphasize some sort of an action point. The action point shall be followed to create TV and radio lessons and some other relevant online classroom service to conduct real-time lessons and make the best of providing teacher-developed learning content assignment as well as feedback in ways similar to that of regular classes as fast as we can. Secondly, I want to emphasize government need to help link and expand online learning resources. Okay. And thirdly, I want to emphasize that the action another action point another action point. Those shall be to support teachers' capacity building and share best practice of online learning. And finally, government need to support operation of online school class, and public schools need to be operating according to the proper operation standards of school classes. Then the action point shall be to develop the operation standards for sustainable operation of public schools in and after the pandemic. Okay. So to ensure fair evaluation, as I explained before, paper-based assessment shall be carried out only after students are allowed to physically attend school according to school schedule. These are what I have prepared for the presentation. Thanks for listening.
Okay, thank you very much. Okay, so we're going to there's a question. I'm sure you can see the question as well. From one of the attendees. So if you could quickly react to that question, it's coming from Uche Owele. So how was the Korean government able to provide such a large amount of learning content and high internet access to learners within the space of 1 month? So he also asking, is internet services owned by the government? If not, how is the private companies meant to make such access available? Could you react to that question, Professor Pion?
Can you give me your question again?
Okay, so the question is in the question and answer chat box. I think you can as well see it. It's coming from Uche Owele. The question is, how was the Korean government able to provide such large amount of learning content and high internet access to the learners within the space of 1 month? And the follow-up question also is, are internet services owned by the government? If not, how was the private companies made to make such access available? Professor Pion, are you with us?
Yes, I'm trying to understand. I'm trying to understand what Mr. Uche has, given me the question. Okay, how was the Korean government, of Korea able to provide such large amount of, learning contents and high internet access to the learners within the space of months?
Yes.
I don't know yet, but basically I can say that. Actually, I have explained to you, based on my, slides I have prepared, is that I think, all the, thanks to the platform, something like, EBS or, Paris platform, basically teachers can create their own, learning contents, or whether it is a learning content or whether that is, teaching content. Basically, they can upload what they have successfully developed by themselves to the technical education platform, and then every teacher can access to the EBS platform, or the basic platform, education platform, and then they can share what they have actually uploaded all together. What it means is that the EBS platform or CARIS platform, or another one is Read Along, which is developed by CARIS as an e-learning platform site. Basically, they can upload what they have created by themselves, and then they can download even if those learning contents or teaching contents are not developed by themselves. You can share them. You understand? So because of the community system service, all the teaching or learning services are basically able to be available nationwide. And thanks to the good education policy provided by Korean government, they can quickly enlarge or expand the basic e-learning infrastructure within a month, because the implementation of policy has been luckily very quick by the Korean government. And then thanks to the infrastructure, the solution and the operation of the e-learning system has been available nationwide.
Okay, thank you. So we have just one more question. So one of the issues or question being raised is, what are the security measures undertaken by EBS since it has to do with cloud, like cybersecurity and the rest? Could you probably buttress on the point? The issues of security issues.
Yeah, you mean the security issues of internet service?
Yes.
I didn't find any kind of security issue. Like the cyber security is very tight, because e-government system is very tight, very strong. In Korean environment. So there has been no security issues that have been uncovered yet. So I think there's the critical issue in terms of security, and cyber security is very tight. In terms of health issues, we have been very careful about our basic operation of education, school by school.
Okay, so perfect. So so there's a question that was also asked by Owele, but I'm sure you didn't respond to that, but maybe you just pointed out just in 1 minute. And that has to do with the internet access, because that has been the major issue in Nigeria. So he's asking, is telecommunication owned by government? I know there are companies like KT in Korea. Is it owned by the government? If it's not owned by the government, what's the arrangement between telecommunication and the education sector in Korea to make the data very, very much accessible?
Can you give me your question a bit simpler?
Okay, we're going to type the question, but let me try to repeat it one more time.
Okay.
The question is from Owele, if you look it back, is that in Korea, was there any kind of collaboration between the telecommunication and the education sector to make sure that accessing education portal doesn't consume a lot of data? How do you handle data issue? That's the question, really.
Okay. Actually, I think I have explained just a bit, even if it is brief. In South Korea has also some numbers of disadvantaged children. What it means is that there are some, children who are from poor family. In that issue, for that issue, Korean government has provided some sort of an exemption of data fee when they access to the EBS online. So even if it is a temporary exemption, benefit of exemption has been given to some disadvantaged children for online learning service. Okay, for that issue, relevant collaboration between telecommunication company and government has been, going on where. So, in terms of collaboration between private and public partnership, that partnership has been going where to give some relevant benefit to children from a poor company, poor family, or those kind of benefit also has been to children who are from immigrant families, okay? And also to children who are from a multicultural background. Those children also can get some benefits, for the situation which are caused by the pandemic situation.